something I just learned. So that's what I got for Billy Idol White Wedding. I just started learning this like 50 minutes ago.
Trevor's learning a new song. Whoop, whoop. All right. Welcome to the podcast, folks. It's Two Lonely Boys in a Canoe. I am Chris Evans. That is Trevor Ahlstrom.
Whoop, whoop.
What's happening, people?
Hello, everybody.
How are you today, Trevor?
Good, man.
Yeah, man.
Like you, I worked in the heat and definitely beat me up today.
Who would have thought the sun's so hot?
Yeah. Pretty hot. But the good news is we're in the tail end of summer now. So within 3-4 weeks.
Don't worry, man. With global warming happening the way it is, eventually all year will be summer.
Fuck that. The older I get, I don't
Oregon
like...
will be beachfront property.
Well, already part of it is. You mean all of Oregon?
All of Oregon's going to be
shit.
beachfront property.
Idaho, that would be crazy. Be like, yeah, Idaho, Montana, you have a beach now.
Yep.
From the ocean. We're like, damn.
It would be pretty nuts geologically.
Mm-hmm.
So your day went good?
Overall, yeah, I got through everything. Worked.
Awesome.
Work was steady and it was good. And
a lot of saw blades to sharpen.
A lot of saw blades to sharpen, and I don't know.
You okay? Oh, you sound like somebody just kicked you in the nuts. You
no.
all right?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I don't know, and then, and then the thing, and
all right, something funny did happen today. The hot secretary at work. She because I was trying to ask her a question.
Better be careful, Trevor. She might listen to this podcast and know you think she's hot. Oh.
I've already told her she's hot before. I've told her that to her face.
Like she doesn't already know.
No, she was like, she just went like, I know. Like she already knew. Like, look, the thing about...
Hot chick.
Sure, I already told her she's hot.
What you gonna do?
And she wasn't offended at all. She was like, I know. But at one point, I walked up by her area and
Who's that lady? A sexy lady.
But she's like, what do you want? And then the immediate boss, supervisor, the guy around our age, was there, and he stopped, and another guy was there, and they all stopped and looked at me. I was like, all right, I got to say some funny shit. I was like,
tell me what you want, what you really want. I'll tell you what you want, what you really want.
I want to be your lover. So I looked at her, I was like, you know what I want actually? I want a fucking big wheel of cheese, extra stinky. I want a Gretsch semi-hollow electric guitar. 60 to 67 period. I want a time machine.
This isn't Christmas, Trevor. This isn't a fucking Santa at the mall. You just giving them your Christmas list
Yeah,
here?
I was on a roll, bud. I was on a roll. So I was like, Gretsch, semi-hollow.
While you're at it, bring back Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix.
Dude, I was like, Gretsch, semi-hollow electric guitar. I was also like magic carpet that flies. It'd be cool. And then she's like, I'm not going to ask you ever again what you want.
She goes... Well, if you taste this carpet, you might take a flight.
Magic carpet ride. Yeah.
You go. That's what she calls her pussy. The magic carpet ride.
Steppenwolf right there.
Shout out
Steppenwolf. Nice.
Shout out the hot secretary at Trevor's job.
Yeah. Anyways, that was
almost the highlight.
Hello, miss. Other than that, it was just a hot, grinding day and trying to get through. But I'm here.
I
started learning Billy Idol because my boss really wanted me to do it. So
it's a nice day for a white wedding.
Hell yeah! Song's about drugs, by the way, folks.
Everybody likes drugs.
Yeah, especially 80.
Can you imagine what the world would be like without drugs?
I actually heard a funny quote. It said, "For all of you that like music, take almost every record from the last 100 or the 50 years." It said last 50 years, every record of music thing that you like, and put it in the fire because most of that shit was inspired by drugs. And a lot of those motherfuckers were high as hell. I was like, yeah, pretty much from like the mid to late 60s and onward, a lot of the music was not only alcohol, which is always a thing, but also alcohol and a lot of drugs, weed,
people
heroin,
have
meth.
Always been not necessarily inspired. A lot of people have been inspired by drugs, but I think that drugs give your brain a different outlook on things.
Lets your brain relax and access different parts of your brain.
Good to an extent, but there's also the time where you need to be focused, And I think a lot of really good musicians did a little bit of both. They fucking did a little heroin, and then they sat down and they wrote some good shit. But it's hard to say when too much is too much. You know, drugs kill a lot of really good artists.
Yeah, that's the
A
problem.
lot of really good comedians. Yeah.
And just people that even artists, but just regular people too.
Your everyday Joes. Yeah,
dude. By the way,
be careful with your drugs out there, folks. Be careful.
By the way, thing you sent me with Shane Gillis and the Twisted Tea.
Oh,
hilarious.
wasn't that hilarious? All the caps and the fucking in the truck.
I was literally like, man, I hope that's not me in 25 years.
I was like, Trevor, this is you.
And then I love it when Shane finds out that shot. He's like, oh, that's baller as hell. Like, way to like do a throwback right there. Do you do the Red Dead Redemption, the cowboy like cutout scene? He jumps out. I'm like, damn.
Shout out to fucking Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker. They got a funny fucking podcast.
Those two were funny as fuck. When Matt was talking about
Matt and Shane's secret podcast.
When he talked about the giant pit, that was funny as fuck because I've spent a lot of growing up going to pits and like throwing a lot of heavy shit out of trailers and trucks.
That's in the ground.
He's like, I am the lord of the pit. That whole like, you peasants shall take care of it.
Trash lord. I am the trash lord.
Lord of the pit. I was like, that's funny because I've known some motherfuckers like that, lords of the pit. They just had this little pit. And
I am the king of Jump Castle. I remember playing King of the Hill as a kid, and there was this big hill that's in Florida somewhere. It's not really like a hill. It's like 25 feet off the ground. But
it's a known spot?
It's a park. But there's a castle at the top, like a faux castle.
That's dope.
It is kind of cool. But I guess the bigger kids at a point got it in their head that they were going to take over the castle and not let anybody come up the hill and shit.
Oh, shit.
So like the whole like park banded together to take the hill. It was so funny. There's a ton of like little kids just rushing at this fucking castle. And all the parents were watching. They're like, oh, their first siege. Yeah.
We shall make them watch Alexander the Great. That's funny.
All right, Trevor, what do you got on the books today, man? You come in with all this no energy, and then you sit there and you go quiet.
All right, I'm coming in full energy. Glad fired up.
Coming in hot.
So anyways, we got some crazy, I guess, local news first. It's been hot. It's a little bit cooler. We had a new Queen of the Weird because there was the Slugfest that happened last week in Eugene.
It's an ugly girl contest.
Pretty much, yes.
It's an ugly girl in a train contest.
Yes, that's 100% what it is.
It's a pig contest. You bring the ugliest pig.
And then she wins literally a trophy of a slug, and and then they do this whole speech about how like being different is beautiful.
Hey, you know what's cool about being different is that it's different. All right, great.
It's different.
Move on.
Yeah, this chick. Yeah, it's definitely an ugly chicken tranny contest. That's all it is. Because I saw a picture of a few of them, and that's
if you
what it is.
Want to be slug queen, king, whatever, be it. But don't
drag
try
queen
to act
thing.
like it's a normal thing.
I don't think they're trying to act like it's a normal thing.
Oh, they're really trying to act like it's a normal thing.
They're trying to make it normalized.
Weird is the fucking title.
It's trying to be normalized eventually, but people are people.
Oh, but what happens if that person's a pedophile, man? Is that weird enough for them? Come on, man. Everybody's accepted. Everybody's equal here.
So yeah, Chris definitely likes to take it to the extreme, and I don't disagree.
No, I'm telling you, man, we need more child soldiers. We need more pedophiles. We need more people out here doing the real thing of Queen of Weird, you know, because if you're Queen of Weird, you better be doing some weird shit.
Also, more Epstein Islands, folks. We need more children getting taken against their will.
Of course, why not, man? We have to have these weird rapey islands where people go and
super rich people.
They take fucking underage children to be fucking abused. God damn, these people suck.
Yeah, they do.
Get over yourself, man. So the world's a little weird. So the world's a little non-weird, you know? Who the fuck are you to be so goddamn special? Go solve cancer and then come talk to me. You know?
True.
Do something with your life instead of being weird.
Poop. So
what else you got?
National news. Tomorrow is actually Women's Equality Day. That is a new official holiday.
Bro, everybody except for white males, man. Everybody but white males. You can't have no Columbus Day.
Yep. Hey, let me tell you a quick joke real quick. Want to hear a joke? Women's rights. Ooh.
It's 21.
I got some others. What do you call a woman with a black eye? Someone that didn't listen. What do you call a woman with two black eyes?
Chick that didn't listen twice.
Chick that's a slow learner.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Trevor's
kidding.
fucked up in the head, bro.
I'm kidding. Women?
Trevor's sitting here trying to advocate beating up
No,
chicks.
don't do that. I'm not Ted Nugent. Don't throw me at Ted Nugent. I know. Anyways,
Trevor,
it's
you
just
ever
a joke.
take a swipe at a gal?
I've had to defend myself. I know
I've
you have
definitely
too.
I've definitely pushed a chick around. Because sometimes women don't get it, man. You might just be a woman, but don't think that you're going to sit there and beat the shit out of me.
Yes. No, I agree. I mean, I don't go out and seek violence on women, but if a woman is attacking me, then I'm going to... Let me tell you a story about what happened yesterday.
Trevor's got a story about beating up a chick.
No, I don't. I have a story about a woman being ridiculous.
Oh, wow. Was it the slug queen?
Probably your mom.
Slug mom?
Slug mom. But yeah, this chick on the bus.
Trevor just lost all of his steam again.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, he did. This chick on the bus.
Nah, I'm kidding. All right.
Trevor doesn't have any steam left in the pot, man. He's running on no coal.
Wait. All right, I got it back. All right, some world news. The U.S. sent $3 billion to Ukraine for an arms package to help for long term.
Until Russia gets fucked up enough.
Yeah, and everyone else. So that's my world news that I got for you.
Shout out Ukraine, man. Hold the line.
Hold the line. Next thing. Gangster / hood eyeglasses.
Gangsters in paradise, man.
Gangster in paradise, man. They wear those glasses with no frames.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I realize that my life is taking it. No.
What's
up,
up, Julio?
I've been laughing and blasting so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone.
I actually thought about that song today. Nice.
Oh, tell me why that's a good one. Been standing most our lives living in a gangster's paradise.
Oh,
I've been standing most our lives living in a gangster's paradise.
Song title. Name of the episode.
Alright.
Anyways, going on. Want to talk about you being an amoeba?
Oh, you mean the amiibo?
The amiibo story?
Yep. So I was making jokes as Trevor was leaving for work one morning. And
Mind you, folks, this is like 6:45, 6:50 in the morning, and Chris is fucking listening to bagpipes. He is hyped. He has it turned up to 11. He's in his underwear. He's fucking like doing like workout moves. The cat is doing somersaults to get my energy back because. Yeah, Chris is like fucking level 11. I'm like, all right, I'm not mad. I'm just like, what? I'm just a little befuddled right now.
Where's the energy from?
Yeah, I'm like a little befuddled because I don't have half the energy now.
So what happened to me that morning was I was sleeping like a baby, and since we got this cat, you know, it likes to sleep in my room sometimes, which is fine. I don't mind. But at about 6:30 in the morning every morning, she starts biting me to let me know it's time to get up. So that morning in particular, she went down to my foot and she bit the piss out of my foot and woke me up really fast. And I was just like, okay, I guess we're awake now. And, you know, I sat there and I petted her for a minute. And then I was like, well, if you're going to fucking wake me up, I'm going to wake you up. So I was like, what's the loudest instrument I can think of? I was like, bagpipes. Let's play some good bagpipe music. And then I played bagpipes and took a shit and then got up and started walking around the house. But I was making jokes, and the joke was they call me the amoeba. And Trevor's like, why do they call you that? And I was like, because when I get underneath them and start wiggling and waggling, they ain't going to know what to do. Yep, it was a pretty funny joke at the time. Wiggling and waggling. Call me the amoeba.
Start doing like twisted, twist and shout, twisted.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, I had another one. I thought it would be really funny for the Cookie Monster to sing Limp Bizkit songs.
And metal in general.
Yeah, and metal in general. Because, like, you could definitely do a Cookie Monster where he's like, I did it all for the cookies. Yeah, the cookies.
The cookies. You can take that cookie and stick it up your jar. Yeah. Stick it up your jar. Stick it up your jar.
And the funniest part is I was looking it up online because I was like, this has to have been done before. And there's a couple of videos where they did have the Cookie Monster doing like Limp Bizkit songs, but it was like 10 or 11 years ago. So I was like, man, all my best jokes are 10 or 11 years in the past.
Oh, that's the next subject, being 10 plus years behind.
Yeah, no, that's my life story, bro. My fashion sense, my fucking music.
Me too.
I'm 10 to 20 years behind everybody.
Me
like
too.
People are still like, oh, you heard that new something or other album? I'm like, you guys heard this old school Outkast?
So you guys heard of Free or fucking Bad Company real quick?
Yeah, I like music nowadays. There is some interesting shit, but I like music from when I was growing up that was really good at the time. Like, I still listen to Trick Daddy and fucking bunch of old hip hop and rap, and a bunch of old rock. I still listen to Journey a bunch. Oh, I'm stretching it out, guys. Oh, fuck. What a day.
All right. Let me do a album review real quick.
Yeah, Trevor's got an album.
Dude, it's a really good one. There we go. So Chris and I, we were doing some chores around the house. We played some folk Greek music. And it's the album review. It's literally just called Greek Relaxing Music, Bouzouki Instrumental Hypnotic Tones. That's all it's called, and it's on YouTube, and it's literally just like a picture.
Couldn't make it any longer name, could you?
No, that's what it's. I literally wrote the whole thing, and it's literally named like the album, the instrument, song, everything. It's just an hour-long music video, like the most beautiful, just folk Greek music. Bouzouki is like a Greek version of a banjo. It's a Greek version of banjo. It's like 8 strings.
Bouzouki is the Italian version of bazooka bubblegum.
Oh, the Greek version.
The Greek version of bazooka bubblegum is bouzouki.
Hopa! And then break a plate over the person's head.
Gum.
Yep. Break a plate, chew gum. I mean, it's all Greek to me, bud. Boom. But yeah, so it's an hour long, and it's really nice, and it shows a picture of like the Greek islands, like Sardinia, where it's just like white stucco walls and super bright ass like blues and reds and yellows of these houses right on the Mediterranean Sea. So yeah, it's pretty nice. We recommend it. And
yeah, there was a lot of interesting music that sounded Italian, but it was Greek music, and then
the spooky.
And then it sounded like Transylvania music.
Yeah, like halfway through it was like
a bunch of it was like vampire music.
Yeah. Halfway through, you all of a sudden had organ
music. It's like,
music.
welcome to the Oregon Blood Bank. Sit down. We'd like to get you started.
But we're also Greek. Would you like Euro? Baklava. It's good for blood. They circulate blood.
Really fucking weird.
And there are vampires in Greek mythology.
Go on to a blood bus or whatever to give blood. And then when you go on there, there's a guy that's a vampire. Like, he's obviously a vampire, but he thinks nobody's going to realize. He's got, like, fangs and really pale face, and he's got his hair all slicked back and black, and he's fucking sitting there, and he's talking in a Transylvania accent. And you're just like, hey, bro, are you a vampire?
Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah, I'm just curious, because you really look like a vampire with the fangs and the white face and the sounding like you're from Transylvania.
Look, it's not about me, it's about you. Now let me see that neck.
I mean, don't you usually take it out the arm? Isn't that how it works?
It is a Wednesday, though. That is what we do on Wednesdays.
I think I'm out of here, man. I don't appreciate that.
20% off everything here. Ah!
Are you a salesman or are you a vampire? And he's like, vampire.
I mean, salesman. I mean, vampire.
Yeah, he just bites you anyways.
Yeah, really good album. So yeah, folks, check it out. Greek folk music. It's pretty cool. Another thing, we could talk about. Want to talk about Sloth? You want to talk about Sloth from the Goonies? Okay. So we had this running joke about Sloth, and for those of you that don't know, he was a large character from the Goonies, a 1980s movie about a bunch of. It takes place on
kids
on the northern.
discovering a pirate.
Yeah.
Fucking ship.
And it's based on the northern Oregon coast along Astoria, so it's like that portion of the Oregon coast just south of Washington.
That's all Astoria has to its name. There's shit in Astoria
That's it.
except for that house and that coastline.
Yeah, like they fished a lot, but as far as on like a famous level, that's all it has.
That's funny when it's like your town's only claim to fame is one shitty movie that came out of there in the 80s.
That's it.
It's like, what's in Astoria, Oregon? Well, it was in the Goonies, and everyone's like, Goonies, what? Yeah, it was a movie in the 80s, you know, this is our time. Sean Astin, Corey Feldman.
Our time now. For them up there, but this is our time down here.
You know
our time
who else
now.
was in fucking Goonies? Josh Brolin. Yeah, Josh Brolin was the older dude. Yeah, there's a lot of cool celebrities in the Goonies. But now, it's just like a weird movie from the 80s that nobody cares about. And we got to thinking about the character of Sloth. So the character of Sloth is a really short introduced character that maybe has 30 to 40 minutes of screen time in the movie. Not much. He has a couple of lines, but he doesn't talk because he has some sort of mental retardation, or he has some sort of, he was dropped on his head as a child or something. But the description of the Sloth is basically, he's like a 6'4" to 6'5" guy, maybe 300 pounds, maybe 280, 275. And he wears a Superman shirt, and he looks, his face, I guess to be described, it's kind of like a traffic cone. And he looks like he's had a stroke on one side. So he has like a pointy head. He has a little bit of hair on the top of his head.
It looks like
he looks like a child that has Down syndrome mixed with a parent that drank while the child had Down syndrome.
And also poured out acid at him and always made him.
Well, he doesn't have acid burns. Don't make him a fucking monster.
Kind of looks like he has acid burns, like long time.
Sloth actually ends up becoming the hero of the movie.
He is the hero,
and he saves the day.
Yes, he does.
But his line is, "Hey, you guys!" And then he swings in on a fucking rope and he beats up his brothers. But yeah, he has a line, "Baby Ruths," and I guess he's addicted to Baby Ruths, and that's all he eats, maybe. Like, they don't really feed him anything else in the movie. They just feed him Baby Ruths. And I guess it's to keep him under wraps because he's such a mentally challenged dude, and he's so retard strong that it's like the only way to keep him under wraps is to give him candy and
He's
stuff.
like the Hulk, pretty much.
Yeah, he's the Hulk. He has a Superman shirt on, and he has extreme strength.
He's the Hulk.
So, but we were thinking, why isn't there more of a Sloth story? There should be like a preamble to Sloth and how his fucked up family became a thing, and because the story follows his mother and his two older brothers that are thieves, and they end up trying to use him to fucking do things for him
because he's super strong.
And I'd really like to see the preamble or the family dynamic to how like Sloth became who he is, how the brothers and the mother, all that stuff. Because they really focus on the children in the story, which is, the main story. But, like, this is the weirdest family. They have a mentally challenged, super strong fucking guy.
It's almost like the Addams Family.
It seems like that weird. Well, it's more like an Addams Family, I guess, mixed with, like, who would be like Laurel and Hardy or something like that,
Yeah, it's a mixture of some like older comedy for sure.
Yeah, because they're all like, it's kind of like Home Alone comedy where they're like zoinking the bad guys and stuff.
It's definitely a tribute to older like
80s
slapstick.
comedy.
No, well, it's even older, like the old
Yeah.
slapstick stuff.
Of course.
Like Looney Tunes, and like even before Looney Tunes, if you want to go super far back, you have like slapstick humor. You have like Charlie Chaplin, and Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton.
From the 20s and 30s, and those dudes did a lot of crazy, dangerous shit. Even the Three Stooges, to a degree, they did a lot of crazy, dangerous slapstick.
Well, that's my whole thing is, like, there isn't a real story about that character, but they could have totally written a movie about Sloth. Because if Goonies was as big of a movie as everybody liked it to be at the time, they could have done a movie about Sloth, and there would have been some buzz about it.
But it was in the time where it was a big deal, but it grew as it got older. Kind of like The Princess
it's like
Bride.
cult followings. And
Yeah,
stuff.
like The Princess Bride is another example. It was a movie from the 80s that at the time did reasonably well, but years on it became a thing that like everyone has seen.
You want to know something hilarious? I hate the Goonies. I thought the story was so fucking retarded, and I always hated his little speech. You know, this is our time down here. This is our thing. Like, for a moment, it's cool, but then, like, as an adult, especially, you watch it and you're like, who the fuck are these kids? Why are they running around the sewers? And why, like, they're going through all this shit to
It's like when
get
you watch
one weird treasure, which they do end up getting. But then it
One-Eyed
sails off
Willie.
into the fucking sea.
It's an illusion.
Coast Guard doesn't intercept a fucking pirate ship. What?
Yeah.
Coast Guard would have been all over that.
Yeah. The 80s, they would have been like, wait a second, you're not. We're gonna see if it's Soviet. Oh, wait a second, what is this?
So, fucking seaworthy ship launches with millions and millions and millions of dollars of gold and fucking jewelry on it, and nobody tries to get it. What the fuck?
Right off the coast of the U.S.
Literally, it's sailing away and everybody's watching. Nobody makes it a
sail
phone
away.
call.
Come sail away.
So stupid. So, yeah, the Goonies sucked. Sloth was the coolest character, though. Baby Ruth. Baby Ruth. We're Sloth fans, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
We're always fans of the downtrodden and the fucking misunderstood. Because that's what we are, and that's what we care about.
We're we're the gruesome twosome. Ooh. Yeah, I'm down.
I always love that, because that's that line from Tommy Boy, Zelensky. He's like, I sell American car parts to American car owners, because that's who I am, and that's what I care about.
Yeah,
so
that was Dan Aykroyd.
That was Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd was so good at that role.
And then, like,
shout out to Dan Aykroyd.
We can talk about Tommy Boy all day. I know that whole movie by heart.
I've seen it a few times.
Chris Farley gets in the fucking elevator with him, and he used a taxi air freshener to try to clone up, and he goes, Mr. Zelensky, or when he goes, went a little heavy on the pine tree perfume, huh, kid? He's like, actually, it's a taxi cab air freshener. And he goes, good, you pinpointed the smell. The next step is washing it off. So fucking hilarious. Because Dan Aykroyd, the way he talked, it was just like, he was like a businessman. It's a mile a minute, but it all made sense. It was all funny.
Shout out to Dan Aykroyd, too.
Shout out Chris Farley, man. One of the best comedians
Chris
to
Farley
ever make a movie.
And Dan Aykroyd, too.
And fucking David Spade. David Spade was a funny
Spade,
dude, too. I always love him going into the bank because he's trying to find Zelensky. But instead of like going to the reception, he goes into the bank and he goes, hey, everybody, this will only take a second. And then everybody hits the ground and the fucking security guards slide their guns over to him. And he's like, oh, jeez. He just walks out. And the fucking the news crew gets there like a half hour later. And they're like, would you describe the man? He's like, well, he hit me many, many times over the head with a hammer. You know, I had to give him my gun. Yeah, I got kids. And then he walks back in and does the same thing. And then the guys are like, not again. And they just drop and slide their guns. Fuck, that's such a good movie.
Nice.
I got a quick joke. Dutch oven cat.
Ooh, I actually want to talk about Ferrari too.
Yeah, so the cat's funny as hell, but one of the funniest things
Ferrari
she did
is the name of her cat or kitten.
Yeah, one of the funniest things she did the other night was we had just got done eating like a chili, so I was really like farting it up. I had a lot of beans, and so I was farting, and I knew it smelled, but I was keeping it under the covers like a normal person. The cat runs up under the covers. And I'm like, you don't want to be in there. You know, I tried to get her out. She keeps running deeper. You know, like she wanted to stay under the cover. And then eventually I was just like, whatever. So the cat stayed in there for like 10 minutes while I was just farting. And I was like, this cat's weird, man. Getting off on the farts or something. I don't know what's happening right now. But Dutch oven kitty. Yeah.
Yeah, there was 3 days ago where it was evening time and we just heard this noise from my bathroom and it sounded like a fucking professional rugby game is going on.
Oh, yeah.
Just boom, 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 boom. And I was like, what, is there a bunch of sweaty Samoans in here? Like, what the fuck's going on? Open it up. And then all of a sudden we see this rain of toilet paper just fall down like snow falling on the ground. And Chris was like, look, it's your toilet paper. I was like, motherfucker. And there's the cat Ferrari just looking up at us like, I'm the sweetest thing ever. I was like,
yeah, she shredded half of a roll.
But threw it the fuck up too, so it rained down.
She was just fucking bouncing off the walls. Because she got put in timeout. She likes to act the fuck up.
Especially at nighttime.
We're good parents. We don't put up with that shit.
Fuck no.
So she likes to fucking act up, and she gets locked in the fucking bathroom. You know, she's got food and water. She doesn't need anything. She's got her litter box.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the problem with kittens, like children. You know, sometimes you got to put them in timeout. Unfortunately, you can't sit there and beat your child. You know, even though I've thought about beating that cat sometimes, but you can't beat him. Doesn't work out well.
So here we are.
Yup.
You want to talk about human babies having crazy monkey-like strength? Because when they first come in the womb, they're a little bit closer to being more ape-like, but as they get older, they become more human-like.
Yeah, a lot of babies coming out of the womb have normal baby strength, which is nothing. You know, it's an infant strength. But there is a small percentage of children that kind of come out of the womb and have a lot of upper body strength and a lot of grip with their toes. And it's because we do descend from monkeys, and there is a small percentage of births that when you have a child, it still has that like innate natural strength. Because when a baby monkey's born, it's not very strong, but it's strong enough. So sometimes babies can hang. Like there's a great photo, I think it was in like 1939 or 40 or something, of a doctor holding a stick and a baby just hanging by this stick, man. He had the grip strength of a fucking 5 or 6 year old, you know?
It's crazy.
Yep. But they usually lose it pretty quickly. It's one of those things that it's around for a small amount of time, but as the infant's brain develops a little further, it just doesn't keep up that strength. Yeah, the body goes more into development, I think. You can definitely see it at a park, man. We have these young kids that are able to do a lot of really physical acts, and it's because their muscles and their bodies are brand new, basically. So everything's made to work and everything's ready to use. So the kids just got to test it out, you know. That was something I was really kind of pissed off at when I was growing up. So I was always the fat kid, and I fucking could never do a pull-up. You know, doing a pull-up was really difficult. As I got older, I learned how to do them, but there would be some kids that would jump on the bars and do like 12 pull-ups. And I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, how is that even possible? But,
they're lighter.
You know.
They're lighter.
Lighter, and, you know, they're just easier to move their bodies. You know, I was a little heavier and a little wider as a kid. There was a funny joke some kid wore to football. It was on his shirt, and it was like, you know why fat kids don't get abducted? Because they're harder to lift. You know, and it was just such a funny shirt because we were all on the offensive line, and it was just like, it was a fat kid wearing a funny shirt.
Nice.
It's true though. If you ever think about it, it's usually those lighter kids that are getting popped up.
But it's also you could also
try to take a fat kid, he's gonna struggle.
You could say the Converse, whereas the fatter ones, though, they're easier to catch.
Mm-hmm.
So
very true. You're gonna catch a fat kid in a sprint, but most pedophiles just snatch kids up.
Poor aliens.
How many alien abductions you think are happening with young kids?
I don't know. But speaking of aliens, how about you do do a movie review, and then I'll bring up the next subject.
I don't have a movie review, but I dipped my toes into a show. I think they're in their second season right now. It's called Reservation Dogs. It's basically a show about Native American children growing up on the reservation, and they get into a bunch of crazy shit. And this spirit Indian keeps showing up and like saying cool Indian shit. But it's pretty funny because every time he shows up, he's eating something. Like he's eating corn or he's eating an apple or some shit, and he's just kind of talking wisdom to his younger ancestors or his younger generations. But he's telling them all about how they used to live on the land and how the tribe worked, and so it's a really cool show. It follows some young Native Americans, and in the cast,
Is it live action or cartoon?
it's live action. It's on FX. But it's definitely worth a check out. It's about life on the reservation, and I knew some kids growing up on the reservation because the Seminole Reservation was one of the bigger ones in the area, and we just knew that there was an area where it was like a gated off community, but that was the reservation where a lot of these kids lived, and so you got to know that reservation life is a lot different, especially from tribe to tribe, because there's a lot of poor tribes out there that have people that live on the reservation, and a lot of them unfortunately don't have jobs, and a lot of them work redneck jobs and shit, blue collar type of shit. And it's just hard because Native Americans, they definitely got the shaft in this country, but they haven't really ever been able to get their footing back in a lot of the tribes. A lot of it's money, and a lot of it's people being relocated, but it's just like anything, eventually it gets all washed. One day, hopefully in the future, we'll all just be a color of tan, and nobody will really give a shit.
Hopefully, in that way, racism will be dead, and it won't be an issue anymore.
I would love
no longer a
just
race issue.
everybody's pigment to just turn to a color, just a nice like caramel or something.
Everybody's.
And then nobody would have reason to fucking do anything. It'd just be class warfare, which we already have. Racism is just another tool.
Yeah, there's a famous punk line that goes, the only war that's worth fighting is the class warfare.
Yep.
That's correct. It's the band Crass. Big man I am. That fucking
there's
band.
always just somebody kicking you off of the ladder as you try to climb up.
Yeah.
So, if you get enough people to band the fuck together, it's really hard to kick people off of that ladder.
Yeah.
But that's the way our society's built at the moment currently.
I agree. So that'd be a crazy wish. Like, I wish everyone's skin tone is the same color.
Sure. Why not?
You'd end racism. You'd end a lot of shit.
People wouldn't have much reason to bitch. If everybody's hair was normal-ish. Hair and skin tone would be the biggest things. But once those two things are changed, like, everybody would fucking have nothing to argue about. And it's just such a stupid thing because, we take our history really to heart, which, you learn from your history. But at a certain point, man, it shouldn't dictate every decision you make in your life. Because you got to do something different, obviously, because you're here and the history's in the past. You can't change that. It's about what you're doing now and tomorrow. Dropping life lessons over here, brah.
Nice. I like it. You want to continue, or you want to go on to the next thing?
I got a joke.
Okay.
So, me and Trevor have been eating a lot of plums lately. Yeah, plums are good. Trevor, would you say we've gone plum loco?
We've gone plum loco. And when we run out of plums, we could definitely say it's the pits.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're going to have to get more of them, man, because I have been just taking them to work, and they have been the best lunch for me, man. I take like 4 or 5 of them, and I eat one in the morning. I ate one on my break.
I had one at lunch today.
3 of them at lunch, and, man, they're so good.
Awesome.
So we gone plum loco, I believe.
Can't wait to get some grapes. That's the one thing we get, some green grapes.
Trevor's like, I want some motherfucking grapes, bro.
My boss always has the biggest basket of green grapes. And was like, where the fuck are you getting this from, bro? Because he has like a giant thing in the fridge of green, fresh grapes.
Pretty smart.
And I was like, I want to raid this shit.
Because sometimes all you need is like a big handful of grapes.
Dude,
you could be having
the amount of sugar in there is...
Well, you could be having a bad moment and your stomach feel weird or something, and then you just eat, some fruit, which is, good sugar. It's usually easily digestible, good fiber. It does something to the body. It really reminds you that, like, this is what your body should be taking in. Good fuel.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, eat your fruits and veggies. Sorry, we're a little low on energy.
Nah, I'm not low on energy. Trevor's low on energy. He's been sitting here playing with himself the whole time.
Yeah. All right, next one. Judge Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, Judge Jabba the Hutt.
That's what I've actually been looking forward to.
We were talking shit the other night, and fucking somehow we came across Judge Judy.
We were watching.
And then we were talking,
we were watching SVU.
Yeah, Law and Order SVU.
Law and Order SVU, and then there's a judge. Like, Trevor, check this judge out. Just looks like the fattest Mitch McConnell mixed with Karl Rove mixed with every fat old fucking rich politician you can think of.
And it was so funny because was like, counselors. Like,
because his fat jaw was like, counselors.
He was so
so fat, so obese, obese.
Like, counselors. I can't do his voice, but it was really hilarious. And from that point, we went to
Jabba the Hutt. I was like, bro, if Jabba the Hutt's the judge,
human.
Yeah, and then from there, we were like,
if there was space crimes and Jabba the Hutt was the judge, not the trash fucking collector?
He pretty much is the judge over in Tatooine. Because if he doesn't agree with it, the floor opens up. They get eaten by the giant monster, the Rancor. Misa, Woosa, whoa. The floor opens in the drop.
I always love, we had another one about how the Black Bailiff is the only one that understands him. But he talks to him, he goes,
Oh man, I got you. I know exactly what you're These bitches be crazy. They owe us some Newport cigarettes.
What?
By the way.
What?
Wait a second.
Trevor, you're getting weird here. That's not the bailiff. The bailiff would be more like, I know, Judge. Psh, these people.
People be crazy. Okay.
Yeah, no, it ain't no cigarettes and shit. This ain't no hood ass fucking jury or hood ass.
That's where my mind went. I was like, hood ass.
Trevor's like, man, I don't know much bailiffs, but I know some black people that are hood as fuck.
Everybody got choices.
Interestingly enough, in South Florida especially, a lot of African Americans and people from the islands go into law enforcement, corrections, stuff like that. Because it is a pretty decent job, especially if you don't have it, very dangerous. Like being a bailiff in a courtroom isn't always the most dangerous job. But yeah, no, it is an interesting concept.
It is.
Hood ass bailiff.
Oh,
listen up, motherfuckers. Judge presiding.
This is like Ice-T pretty much.
Stand the fuck up.
Stand the fuck up.
Judge Joe Brown presiding.
Judge Joe Brown. I've seen that. That shit is hilarious.
There's a really funny set of skits with like Jamie Foxx. He's on SNL.
What is he doing? Are you talking about
alligator? We're gonna get them gators.
No, you're talking about Maine
like,
law, Maine Justice.
Maine Justice.
Maine Justice. That shit is hilarious.
He's like, we gonna get them gators on you. He's like, in Maine? He's like, you damn right.
At one point, they're like, so what if us Katrina people went up to Maine, but we're continuing.
They explained how all the Southerners
from
Katrina moved up to Maine.
Yeah.
But it's an old Southern court, and they just have a bunch of people from SNL going on being like, Your Honor, I do declare that this man backed into me with his automobile. And he's like,
some Mark Twain shit, 100% Mark Twain shit.
Guy, and he's like, Judge, that's a lie. I didn't back into her. And he's like, shut your mouth. I didn't tell you to talk.
Oh, I don't want to hear this ruckus in my courtroom. You're going to give me this mouth.
Yeah, and it's hilarious because, like, they're in Maine. You wouldn't expect an extremely southern courtroom in Maine.
Oh, we're gonna give you the spiciest, nastiest jambalaya you can think of.
You
ever had. And then you just have Jamie Foxx just doing it the whole time. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then Justin Timberlake did it too.
Yep.
He also did a good job.
Yep. So, funny bailiffs, folks. All right, Trevor, what else you got? I got Raina hung porn.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, so there's a really cool competitive eater I've checked out. I like to watch competitive eating sometimes because I just think it's interesting how these people kind of put their bodies through that. A lot of them aren't very heavy, but they're very good at eating and making their bodies take in a ton of food at once. So there's this girl, Raina Hung, and she's very cute. She's in her 20s or something, an Asian girl. But through, being a man, I fucking looked up her online naked, and found some pictures of her with her top off. And I was like, all right, this is great. Let me go ahead and use this for a little bit. And then doing it again, like a couple weeks later, I guess, I came across her porn video.
What a friend we have in Jesus.
And it's a really dope video of her sucking a black dude off. And she's a really good dick sucker. And she...
Tubuku.
Awesome chick.
Hell yeah.
But in the middle of this, which is really awesome, she's sucking this dude's dick, and she's deep throating him, and she basically goes, "Slap me in the face," and the dude goes gives her a couple love taps, and she's like, "No, hit me," and he smacks her a little harder, and she's really into it, and you're just like, damn, she's a little freaky. Yeah. And then a couple minutes go by, she takes a nice cum shot to the mouth and smiles. Class act all the way. So Raina Hung, if you're out there, I would love to meet you. She's an awesome chick.
Chris would definitely make you a nice meal sometime.
If we ever get famous with this podcast, I'm definitely going to have her on and interview her about competitive eating and porn.
And if she's single, would you ever go on a date with her?
Oh, of course. She's a model too, bro. She's a hot chick. She models and stuff.
She's
so, yeah, shout out Raina Hung. You're awesome.
Chris thinks about you.
A little bit when I'm lonely.
There you go. Ooh. We talked about how to the LGBTQT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, trans,
A, B, C, D, E,
all that
F, G,
we could add.
H, I, J, K, elemental P. These nuts in your mouth.
All the way to Z? No. So we want to add monsters to it. Fucking Chris. So
Trevor's pissed because I didn't give him a high five.
Always hate on these beautiful folks.
No, he's just always trying to get high fives for jokes he doesn't deserve them for.
Fuck off. I'm better than most female comedians. I'm better than...
he's sitting here and he's comparing himself to people that aren't good. Yeah. When he has the capability of being good, but he chooses these low-hanging fruit jokes.
Or fucking... the guy we hate, Pete. The guy who's with...
Buttigieg?
No, the guy who's with the... He has the tattoos
Pete
of all
Sampson.
No, he has the tattoos of all the kids on his neck. Pete Holmes, not Pete Holmes.
What the fuck? Who's Pete Holmes?
The fucking comedian. That's not funny. He's fucking all these hot chicks, and he has the tattoos from...
Brendan Schaub?
No.
He's a comedian, not funny.
That was good.
Sorry, Brendan Schaub. You do a lot better than most retired fighters.
You were a good fighter, but as a comedian,
You're terrible, bro. You need to find a movie to act in.
Or just be a coach, because you were a badass fighter. Be a coach.
He isn't good enough to be a coach, but he could definitely be a fucking great actor. He's a decent dude. Doesn't look bad. Fucking get a job. Stop trying comedy, man. It ain't working. Brendan Schaub just shows up and fucks me up. I'm like,
He can still fuck most people up, though.
Oh, Brendan Schaub would fuck everybody up.
Yeah. Monkeys for nothing.
Brendan Schaub, you're not a terrible human.
Monkeys for nothing, chimps for free.
What were you saying about what? Something with the thing?
The comedian that
Pete Holmes.
Pete Holmes.
Who are you talking? Oh, Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. That fucking guy. Thank you. I was like, Pete something. Thank you.
Pete Holmes is a white dude, a real white dude.
Right.
And Pete Davidson, he's some sort of white, but I don't think he's like normal white. He looks like he's Italian or some weird shit. But yeah, Pete Davidson sucks at comedy. He's sucked at SNL. I don't know, but he got famous and somehow turned it and parlayed it into fucking some of the most famous women on the planet. So shout out to Pete Davidson for fucking all those hot chicks, but like, come on, Pete Davidson, for getting Kanye West's kid's name tattooed on your neck. The fuck was that about? So if you guys don't know, he got the initials of Kanye West's kids tattooed on his neck to prove that like he loved them, or he loved them like his kids or some shit. But what it just blows my mind, because they're not even together now. They broke up. So now you just have these weird tattoos of initials of kids that you probably still care about, but you don't give a shit about, bro. Pete Davidson is playing really hard into the I'm famous card or whatever it is. And he's just going to end up a drug addict, bro. A weird dude.
He's going to be the next Corey Feldman.
Maybe. I don't know. Pete Davidson's a weird dude. Probably won't ever run out of money, though.
True.
Probably just keep fucking hot chicks until he has a heart attack.
Be like Hugh Hefner.
Maybe. That'd be funny as hell, Pete Davidson to be the next Playboy dude. He's like, hey, everybody, I got all these hot chicks. You guys want to come over and bang them?
Look at this robe I have. It's extra fancy. Man.
Yeah, you don't know my robot butler? Happy birthday, Polly. Pete Davidson.
So yeah, Pete Davidson's the next Hugh Hefner. But we were joking about monsters joining the LGBTQ, all those things. So we were like, you could add like V for vampires, W for werewolves, D for dragons, Z for zombies.
You have to include the undead, because what if the undead have a way to come back and then they feel excluded?
They have rights. They have rights too.
The undead have rights, zombie rights. I'm all about zombie rights.
100%.
Vampire rights, I'm a little bit sketchy on, because they are trying to kill the humans off. But they're eating responsibly right now.
What about aliens or like extraterrestrials? That's a whole thing too.
Yeah.
Do they have rights too?
I think that if aliens landed on the planet, they'd have bigger problems than what we were referring to them as. Mm-hmm. I don't think they'd care that we called them an it or a goop gop or whatever.
Because we're all getting exterminated at that point.
I just want the Mars attack scenario to happen. The guy that, like,
I've seen Mars Attacks, yeah.
He goes to shake the hand of the fucking head Martian, and he goes, bah, 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 and he pulls out a laser gun and just starts shooting, and his backup starts shooting, and everyone's like, bah! And then I love how that was their, like, communication. They were just like, bah, bah, bah. It was so ridiculous. Mars Attacks is such a funny movie.
Yeah. Late 90s, wasn't it? I remember when it came out.
It's early 2000s or something.
Around then. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, monsters eventually is going to be a thing, and they should have rights too.
Well, I mean, dude, if we are being inclusive to everybody...
What about ghosts, too? What about people from other dimensions? What interdimensional people, too?
Because ghosts have rights like everybody.
They're interdimensional, so
you know, if we
undead,
take it to the
interdimensional,
extreme,
yeah.
You know, let's get really extreme here. I'm talking microbial life. I'm talking air.
All of them.
Yeah, there's the group, the libertarians don't clap their hands because there's microscopic bacteria that you disturb when you clap your hands together.
You mean the political party?
Yeah, so what they do when they agree with something is they go like this.
That's what the libertarians do.
Yeah, and if you folks can't see, but what I'm just doing is raising my hands up around my head, and then you shake your hands back.
So does Dave Smith do that too?
Sometimes. I don't know if he does it. But what I'm saying is that, you know, let's get really fucking specific here. Everything has rights.
Well, I mean, we live by the Pacific, so let's get real specific on the Pacific.
Plant, every bug, everything. You know? If you kill a bug, you should go to bug court and face bug charges based on that bug murder. Because that bug had thousands of kids.
Every time you masturbated, you should go to court for every unborn child that you just spewed out
I
into
mean,
a
those
sock.
sperms could eventually become a beautiful baby. And look, you're just mass murdering millions of little baby sperms.
For no reason.
I'm a sinner.
Well, as long as you're a joker, you're a smoker, midnight toker.
Well, I just love that everybody is fighting for equality and rights. Which, yo, fight all you want, yo. It ain't fucking easy being at the top. Ask white people. Everybody's always chipping at you and fucking you're solving problems. And, you know, that's one of those things they don't talk about. How many problems that the white people solved? Yeah, they created some too. But, you know, if everybody wants to take over leading the world, the free world, man, be my guest. It ain't easy.
There's a quote I once heard. It's called, if you're not the lead dog, the view never changes.
Yep.
It's about being in a bunch of dogs, pulling a sleigh out in the Arctic. Which could bring us to our next topic we want real quick. Arctic Asians. The Eskimos, the Inuits. The people that from Asia just stayed.
Canadian Inuits.
Yeah. Scandinavian, Russian, all of that. They went from Asia because when all the Asians went across the Bering Bridge 20,000 years ago, when we had that frozen bridge between Russia and Alaska, there was a group of Asians that just spread right along
transcended down the ice.
But they literally just hung out in the Arctic Circle, and that was their climate. Right. Very rough, brutal, one of the most brutal climates in the world, but after a while, like, they figured out a way to do it.
And that's just to go, you know, to the fucking extent to say how great the human spirit is and how great people
survive
can be,
that. Dude.
You know, in the most harshest conditions. I think it's really hard to live in most conditions without the basics like electricity and fucking plumbing. But on top of that, being nomadic and having to hunt for your food normally, and
no stores.
Stop, set up camp, you know, keep moving, because a lot of those tribes, they moved with herds. You know, you couldn't stay just too long.
Like the caribou, for example.
You'd have to go hunt deer and, you know. But
they go after walrus.
It's a very big notch to the human spirit, you know. These people had every reason to just die. And they were like, nah, we're going to keep fucking and we're going to keep killing and we'll just get through this harsh winter. And, you know, that's the thing. You get through the harsh winters and you get to go to spring, you know. All right, Trevor, you about ready to wrap it?
Yeah, I'm about ready.
All right, guys, we appreciate you listening to us today. And sorry if we were a little low on energy. It is the middle of the week. We're a little tired. Our Thursday show.
It's been
hot.
I
think our Thursday show always suffers because we're both tired.
From work and the heat and shit.
Sunday is always a better show because I'm coming into my days off and Trevor's going back to work after being fresh. So, our Sunday show will kick ass. Trevor getting all weird with the slide at the end there.
Hell
but
yeah.
I liked it. Good job, Trevor.
Everybody,
All
we'll upload
guys.
more episodes. Stay good.
Yeah, we appreciate you listening. Please drop a like and comment if you would. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at Two Lonely Boys in a Canoe podcast.
Try to suck at life a little less every day.
Yeah, try to suck at life a little less every day, folks. Be good. God bless. Take care.
Out.